Well, thank you, Chair Lowenthal, and I appreciate this opportunity. Dr. Felgus, thank you for joining us today. According to C-SPAN recordings, the White House press secretary said there are 9,000 unused leases on federal lands. 6 days later, the press secretary said there are 9,000 unused permits on federal lands. It's concerning to Congress and our constituents and industry that the White House does not seem to know the difference between a lease and a permit. Although I am very confident you are well versed from your time working on this subcommittee. So does this administration at least acknowledge that we must increase domestic production to address the energy crisis and lower gas prices for Americans?
Thank you, Ranking Member. The administration is very focused on trying to lower gas prices for Americans. It's something the president is extremely focused on and has been taking a number of steps to try and do so. So, yes, I mean, that is a high priority for the administration.
Can you give us a 30-second version of the difference between a lease and a permit so the people can understand, because it's not clear from the White House?
Sure. Well, a lease is the initial sort of right to access the land that a company bids for, either onshore or offshore. And then a permit is the specific authorization to drill at a specific site.
Give us some examples of what's needed for the permitting to drill, could you?
I don't have the whole list of different information that companies must submit in order to get their permits to drill, but we certainly conduct a whole environmental analysis for any permit application and go through that very carefully before issuing permits.
And so the permit to drill isn't automatically given, and it takes some time, correct?
Yes.
Okay. We've heard this line multiple times from this administration, and it makes clear there is a fundamental disconnect between DC bureaucrats and the reality of what actually happens on the ground and on the water. So if an operator, for example, has 2 permits in hand, but is waiting for BLM to approve rights of way to access the site, it amounts to a de facto ban because the operator can't begin. Bureaucrats stalling the process. And this is even before the company starts securing the materials and drilling rigs or trying to staff up a workforce in a rural area with an ongoing labor shortage. The point is, you cannot grind the leasing process to a halt like this president did on his very first day in office and then expect it to restart overnight. The price of gas is attributed to many factors, but our issues in America can be traced back to the first hours of President Biden's reign when he started this unlawful pause. And I want to close. Members of this committee, 21 members of this committee, sent Secretary Haaland on January 13th, 2022, a letter asking for answers on the administration's pause. It has been 59 days, no answer. Can you give us a response, and can you share with us in this committee the reason for this pause?
I will just say that there's no pause on leasing. We have been moving forward on leasing both onshore and offshore. There's been a number of conflicting court cases that have thrown some wrenches in the works, but some of those court cases are being worked out right now. But we are moving forward, both onshore and offshore, towards leases.
Dr. Felix, are you telling us that there has been, under this administration, even one lease under this administration, not permit to drill, but lease?
Well, we did hold a major lease sale in November offshore. It's actually, I think, one of the largest in terms of acreage offshore lease sales that was ever held. Of course, that was subsequently vacated by a district court, but we did, hold that sale.
Did you challenge that district court?
The administration has not appealed, but the other parties to that lawsuit have appealed.
Why wouldn't the administration appeal the district court ruling?
I can't speak to that specifically. I will just say that that case is still under appeal. So that's still moving forward.
Dr. Felgus, who makes the ruling on the appeal? You?
Certainly not. No, I do not make these rulings.
And who makes that ruling on the
I
appeal?
would have to go back and check that for you. I'm not sure who.
Do you have any input on it?
I have not had any input on this one. No.
Okay. So my question was, have you put forth, has this administration put one additional lease under this president, not offshore, onshore?
Onshore, we are working towards lease sales. And I'll
Dr.
say
Felges,
again,
Dr. Felges, that's not my, Dr. Felges, with all due respect, that was not my question. Has the Biden administration put one additional onshore lease forward?
I'll say we are continuing to work towards onshore leases.
That's a no. They haven't. And I think that that with your working on the committee, the answer was an easy question. The Biden administration has not put one additional onshore lease forward. And I think it's somewhat disingenuous not to answer the question, especially with what's happening with the oil and gas prices that are devastating middle-class families. And so with that being said, first off, I want to appreciate you and your expertise on the subcommittee. You're very well versed, and really appreciate you being here today. And Mr. Chair, I'm over time. I yield back. Thank you.